Krishna Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Krishna 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 Hare Ram Ram.
जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्ण everyone. So today is Saturday, 17th of February. It is Magha Masa or Madhava Masa, Sukla Paksham and Navami Tithi. So today there is Vaishnava event. So today is disappearance day of the great Sripada Madhvacharya, a very prominent Acharya in our disciplic succession. So there are few information and few lines from the Chaitanya Charitamrita. Shripad Madhvacharya, who is named in our disciplic succession in Parampara, which therefore is known as Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya, a line that includes Brahma, Narada, Vyasadeva, Madhva, and Lord Chaitanya. From the introduction of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Srimad Bhagavatam explains that Krishna imparted a knowledge into the heart of Brahma, the first created being within the universe. Brahma imparted those lessons to his disciple Narada. Narada imparted that knowledge to his disciple Vyasadeva. Vyasadeva imparted it to Madhvacharya. And from Madhvacharya, the knowledge came down to Madhavendra Puri and then to Ishvara Puri and from him to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So in his childhood, Madhvacharya was known as Vasudeva, and there are some wonderful stories surrounding him. It is said that once when his father had piled up many debts, Madhvacharya converted tamarind seeds into actual coins to pay them off. When he was 5 years old, he was offered the sacred thread. A demon named Maniman lived near his abode in the form of a snake. And at that age of 5, Madhvacharya killed that snake with the toe of his left foot. When his mother was very much disturbed, he would appear before her in one jump. He was a great scholar even in childhood, and although his father did not agree, he accepted sannyasa at the age of 12. Upon receiving sannyasa from Achyuta Preksha, he received the name Purna Prajna Tirtha. After traveling all over India, he finally discussed the scriptures with Vidya Shankara, the exalted leader of Sringeri Mata. Vidya Shankara was actually diminished in the presence of Madhvacharya. Accompanied by Satyatirtha, Madhvacharya went to Badrikashrama. It was there that he met Vyasadeva and explained his commentary on the Bhagavad Gita before him. Thus, he became a great scholar by studying before Vyasadeva. By the time he came to Anandamata from Badrikashrama, Madhvacharya had finished his commentary on the Bhagavad Gita. His companion Satyatirtha wrote down the entire commentary. When Madhvacharya returned from Badrikashrama, he went to Ganjama, which is on the bank of the river Godavari. There he met with two learned scholars named Shobhana Bhatta and Swami Shastri. Later, these scholars became known in the disciplic succession of Madhvacharya as Padmanabha Tirtha and Narahari Tirtha. When he returned to Udupi, he would sometimes bathe in the ocean. On such an occasion, he composed a prayer in 5 chapters. Once, while sitting beside the sea, engrossed in meditation upon Lord Shri Krishna, he saw that a large boat containing goods for Dwaraka was in danger. He gave some signs by which the boat could approach the shore, and it was saved. The owners of the boat wanted to give him a present, and at the time, Madhvacharya agreed to take some gopi chandana. He received a big lump of gopi chandana, and as it was being brought to him, it broke apart and revealed a large deity of Lord Krishna. The deity had a stick in one hand and a lump of food in the other. As soon as Madhvacharya received the deity of Krishna in this way, he composed a prayer. The deity was so heavy that not even 30 people could lift it. Yet, Madhvacharya personally brought this deity to Udupi. 8 of Madhvacharya's sannyasi disciples became directors of his 8 monasteries. Worship of the Lord Krishna deity is still going on at Udupi according to the plans Madhvacharya established. Madhvacharya then, for the second time, visited Badrikashrama. While he was passing through Maharashtra, the local king was digging a big lake for the public benefit. As Madhvacharya passed through that area with his disciples, he was also obliged to help in the excavation. After some time, when Madhvacharya visited the king, he engaged the king in that work and departed with his disciples. Often in the province of Ganga Pradesha, there were fights between Hindus and Muslims. The Hindus were on the bank of the river and the Muslims on the other. Due to the community tension, no boat was available for crossing the river. The Muslim soldiers were always stopping passengers on the other side, but Madhvacharya did not care for these soldiers. He crossed the river anyway, and when he met the soldiers on the other side, he was brought before the king. The Muslim king was so pleased with him that he wanted to give him a kingdom and some money, but Madhvacharya refused. While walking on the road, he was attacked by some dacoits, but by his bodily strength, he killed them all. When his companion Satyatidha was attacked by a tiger, Madhvacharya separated them by virtue of his great strength. When he met Vyasadeva, he received from him the Salagram Sila known as Astamurti. After this, he summarized the Mahabharata. Madhvacharya's devotion to the Lord and his erudite scholarship became known throughout India. Consequently, the owners of Sringeri Mata, established by Shankaracharya, became a little perturbed. At that time, the followers of Shankaracharya were afraid of Madhvacharya's rising power, and they began to tease Madhvacharya's disciples in many ways. There was even an attempt to prove that the disciplic section of Madhvacharya was not in line with Vedic principles. A person named Pundarika Puri, a follower of Mayavada philosophy of Shankaracharya, came before Madhvacharya to discuss the Shastras. It is said that all of Madhvacharya's books were taken away, but later they were found with the help of King Jayasimha, ruler of Kumla. In discussion, Pundarika Puri was defeated by Madhvacharya, a great personality named Trivikramacharya, who was a resident of Vishnu Mangala, became Madhvacharya's disciple, and his son later became Narayanacharya, the composer of Sri Madhva Vijaya. After the death of Trivikramacharya, the younger brother of Narayanacharya took sannyasa and later became known as Vishnu Tirtha. So it was reputed that there was no limit to the bodily strength of Purna Prajna or Madhvacharya. There was a person named Kadanjari who was famed for possessing the strength of 30 men. Madhvacharya placed the big toe of his foot upon the ground and asked the man to separate it from the ground. But the great strong man could not do so, even after great effort. Srila Madhvacharya passed from this material world at the age of 80 while writing a commentary on the Aitareya Upanishad. For further information about Madhvacharya, one should read Madhva Vijaya by Narayanacharya. So there are so many glories and pastimes of Madhvacharya. It is very blissful to hear and all these things. And one beautiful thing is the Krishna deity, so with a stick in hand and food in the other hand, which was found in the lump of sandalwood paste. So that is so beautiful. So it is still being worshipped. So that is Madhvacharya's pastime from the Vaishnavians' perspective. So we shall quickly move on to Srimad Bhagavatam. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, Sukadeva Goswami speaking to Parikshit Maharaj, and also he was mentioning to encourage Parikshit Maharaj. He was saying Parikshit Maharaj on the other side, he wanted to hear Krishna Katha more, and so they are encouraging each other. So at that time, Sukadeva Goswami, he is saying to Parikshit that what is the use of living for so many years in the materialistic way of life? Even a muhurta time is sufficient to become self-realized. And so that way you can hear all the muhurta time and realizing all the Krishna Katha, and that is the glorifying and hearing everything about Krishna, completely absorbing in Krishna consciousness. So that is what it has been decided in the past by the great sages. Likewise, Sukadeva Goswami saying to Parikshit, Ete nirvijyamananam vichitam akuto bhayam yoginam rupa nirnitam hare nama anukirtanam kim pramattaihi bahubihi parokshaihi hayinaihi iha varam muhurtam viditam ghatate shreyase yataha. Just a muhurta time is sufficient to attain the perfection of human life. Kim pramattasya bahubhi. So what is the need of living for so many years in a pramattasya, attaching to the material world? And then he is now giving an example with the one of the past history about the Rajarshi Katvanga. So his name was Katvanga. He is a Rajarshi, and understanding that he has got less time, a muhurta time left over, and so immediately he self-situated himself, and then he returned back to Godhead. Likewise, he is mentioning about Katvanga Rishi. We are in the second canto, chapter 1, verse number 13. Katvango nama Rajarshi Jnatva yettam ihayushah muhurtat sarvam usturajya gatavan abhayam harim. Katvango nama Rajarshi. So Katvanga, the king Katvanga, with that name, he is a saintly king. He is a Rajarshi. Katvango nama Rajarshihi Jnatva yettam ihayushah. And he understood the time, Jnatva, what? Yettam iha ayushah, the time left for him in this material world. How long? Muhurtat, just a muhurta time. Muhurtat sarvam musurja. Within the time, what he did? Sarvam musurja. He left everything. His home, his family, all the relatives and everything else. No one will come. It is when one is taking voluntarily, that is called dhera. But people sticking on to only the family, home and children, everything until death take over. So that is not it is called adhira or bhira. So dhira, adhira. So here he is now Rajashi, and Jnatva yettam ihayushah muhurtat sarvam usrujya. Within a muhurta time, everything left, and then gatavan abhayam harim, and he had gone to fully safely under the shelter of Harim. Akutu. Gatavan Abhayam Harim. Fully safe. So likewise, he is speaking on the pastime of Katvanga. Katvanga nama rajashihi jnatva yettam ihayushaha muhurtat sarvam usturajya gatavan abhayam harim. So translation for this verse. The saintly king Katvanga, after being informed that the duration of his life would be only a moment more, at once freed himself from all material activities and took shelter of the supreme safety, the personality of Godhead. And purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So can I request any allocated devotee today? Okay, if not, can I request if Ratan Prabhuji is here and able to read it? Or any volunteers to read?
Shall I, Prabhu?
Yes, Mataji.
Which Mataji? Sorry.
Who is okay. Who would you like to go? So who is going to read it?
Why I offer, if it's all right.
Yes, Mataji, you can.
Who was it the other one wanted to do?
I said, but it's okay, Mataji, you can.
You sure?
Yes, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. A fully responsible man should always be conscious of the prime duty of the present human form of life. The activities to meet the immediate necessities of material life are not everything. One should always be alert in his duty for attainment of the best situation in the next life. Human life is meant for preparing ourselves for that prime duty. Maharaj Katvanga is mentioned herein as a saintly king because even within the responsibility of the state management, he was not at all forgetful of the prime duty of life. Such was the case with other Rajarsish, saintly kings, like Maharaj Yudhishthir and Maharaj Parikshit. They were all exemplary personalities on account of their being alert in discharging their prime duty. Maharaj Katvanga was invited by the demigods in the higher planets to fight demons, and as a king, he fought the battles to the full satisfaction of the demigods. The demigods, being fully satisfied with him, wanted to give him some benediction for material enjoyment. But Maharaj Katvanga, being very much alert to his prime duty, inquired from the demigods about his remaining duration of life. This means that he was not as anxious, and this means that he was not as anxious to accumulate some material benediction from the demigods as he was to prepare himself for the next life. He was informed by the demigods, however, that his life would last only a moment longer. The king at once left the heavenly kingdom, which is always full of material enjoyment of the highest standard, and coming down to this earth, took ultimate shelter of the all-safe personality of Godhead. He was successful in his great attempt and achieved liberation. This attempt, even for a moment by the saintly king, was successful because he was always alert in his prime duty. Maharaj Parikshit was thus encouraged by the great Sukadev Goswami, even though he had only 7 days left to his life, to execute the prime duty of hearing the glories of the Lord in the form of Srimad Bhagavatam. By the will of the Lord, Maharaj Parikshit instantly met the great Sukadev Goswami, and great treasure of spiritual success left by him is nicely mentioned in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Vijay.
Thank you, Mataji. So, in this purport and this Katvanga Rishi's pastime, it is Krishna's statement in the Bhagavad Gita. Antakale च मामेव स्मरन्नूत्वा कलेवरं यः प्रयाति समुद्भावं याति नास्ति अत्र संशयः यं यं वापि स्मरन् भावं च चिन्ते कलेवरं तं तमेवैति कौन्तेय सदा तद्भावभावितः. So whatever the moment, whatever the one is thinking at the last moments of his life, that he would attain. So Katvanga Rishi, he is very intelligent. He's a Rajashi, he's a Rishi, and he knows everything. Jnatva, knowing those things, how to utilize his last moments. And he's not attached, just like a frog, even that is being swallowed by a snake and trying to catch a flies to eat. But here, he's prepared for that one. And what he needs to remember only Krishna at that last moments, completely absorbed in the Krishna consciousness, even though he was a responsible king and at the time, but still he was following this Varnashrama Dharma, Rajarshi. He's following the kingly duties at the same time. Savai Pumsam Parodharmo. He never forget about his Parodharmo. Otherwise, Nehayat Karma Dharmaya Na Viragaya Kalpate. Natidhapada Jivarnapi Mrutohi Saha. Even the one he is living without being attached to Krishna is like a dead body. So here, King Parikshit, even though he is in the worldly duties very busy, and then still he never forgetful of his prime duty of life, Parodharma, and encouraging Parikshit Maharaj about the pastime of Katvanga. So Katvanga, he was fighting on behalf of the demigods, and he helped so many years in the heavenly kingdom. And then after finally demigods are pleased with him, and then when he was about to return, they also asked what benedictions he wanted. Then he asked this question: how long, what is my duration of life? He wanted to remember Krishna, so just engage all his time, pastime, last moments with Krishna only, completely. This is called sannyasa. So he was, and then as soon as what he did, sarvam musrujja, everything he left. Even though he's in the heavenly kingdom, there are so many comforts are there. But still, he doesn't want all those things. He wanted to be, they are temporary only. They are kala viplutam. They will, in the due course of time, everything will be destroyed. So here he is looking for the eternity. And then he is fully satisfied. So the demigods being fully satisfied with him, giving him this benediction for material, but he rejected all those things, and then he wanted to know remaining duration of life, and then he left once heavenly kingdom, which is full of material enjoyment. If we have got all this enjoyment, then we don't get any feeling to renounce this all the comforts. So one has to feel, that's why this material world, when we see this duality and all the pains, one has to tolerate those things. These are all temporary only. Either it is pleasure or pain. They are temporary. Matra spashastu kaunteya sitoshna sukha dukkadaha agamapaino nityaha tam titikshasva bharata. Just during the night it is cold, in the daytime it is somewhat hot, and then light is there and activities start. Again night comes, they will come and go. The winter comes and it will go, summer comes and it will go. Just we need to tolerate heat and cold and pains and pleasures. We do not get agitated. So that is what Krishna's statement. Then everything will be, when we are not disturbed, then only we can understand what is the purpose of human life, why we have been put. So this is a great boat which can cross this material essence from this material world into the supreme abode of the Lord. Otherwise, so we have got so many, just by walking we can just walk few miles, and by the cycle few more furthermore, and by car few hundreds of miles, and then by train even thousands of miles can cross, and by aeroplanes we can cross the continents and oceans. By the rockets or some other spaceships we can go to the different planet, but we can't go cross over this one using all these material vehicles, which is the spiritual world. It is not the materialistic one, so it is completely transcendental to the material world. So to go there, this human body is a great vehicle which can conquer all the material things, transcend. And then so this in all the scriptures says, all the scripture says, and who is going to be the sailor for this boat? So the spiritual master. So one has to get initiation from the spiritual master. He will guide the boat how to go transcend this material world. So here these Rajarshis, they are fully aware of all these things, perfection of human life, how to utilize this human body. And he wanted to utilize just only for perfection of human life, not for just they are krupanaha, palahetavaha. Otherwise, if we do something and get some money and they enjoy, that is krupanaha. They do not have any gratitude, even though they have. If I just give a very nice, beautiful shape, what do? Some people take it as oh very nice, and they will put it for a showcase or just only for seeing and show. We have got this one, but they don't use it for to travel. That is great misfortune of the people. So likewise, and he was successful in his great attempt and achieved liberation, Katwanga Rishi. So that is to telling that story to encourage Parikshit that you have got 7 days, you could do so many things, and we can relish Srimad Bhagavatam. Likewise, he is encouraging that is from Srimad Bhagavatam. So by will of the Lord, Maharaja Parikshit instantly met Sukadeva Goswami. This is also very fortunate thing. It is not possible at the last moment of people will be taken to the hospitals here and there to cure their diseases. But one is voluntarily accepting that one, the path, and one Lord is arranging the beautiful circumstances to recite Srimad Bhagavatam. So that is Katvango Nama Rajashihi Jnatva Yettam Ihayushaha Muhuttad Sarvam Usrujya Gatavan Abhayam Harim. That is from Srimad Bhagavatam. We shall quickly move on to Srila Prabhupada's daily letter. So today it is letter to Satsvarupa, January 9th, 1970, Los Angeles. Can I request Smriti Kana Mataji to read this letter, if available? Any other Mataji, Usha Mataji, want to go?
My dear Satsvarupa, please accept my blessings. I beg to acknowledge the receipt of your letter dated 4th January 1970, along with the newspaper cutting, and I have enjoyed the article with nice pictures. If you go on with your work sincerely by following the footsteps of our predecessors, certainly our movement will be recognized by the people in general. Recently, I have received a copy of one letter issued by the draft board recognizing our society as religious. So this means that both the public and government are gradually appreciating our position, and there is no doubt about it. If our motives are sincere, they will do it more and more. Now our immediate duty is that all our society members are strictly following the rules and regulations and chanting routine. That will make them steady and strong in their positions respectively. Regarding art department, Muralidhara has already gone to Boston, and now you have a good board of artists. And I am glad that Devahuti is also returning, so all combined together produce at least one nice picture daily. So other news is very encouraging. So execute artists regularly and properly. So far my book is concerned, special attention is required in the composing department, otherwise the whole stream will be disturbed. Regarding Krishna. Can you scroll it a little? Regarding Krishna. Uh, just a little bit down, just listen. So other news is very encouraging. So execute artists regularly and properly. So far my book is concerned, special attention is required in the composing department. Otherwise the whole scheme will be disturbed. Regarding Krishna, please make the MS ready because if George Harrison pays for the painting in Japan, we shall have to send it immediately for the purpose. Regarding transcribing, I have written to Detroit if they can do it. In the meantime, I have engaged Devananda transcribing the tape and primary editing also, and the copy can be sent to you for final editing and then printing. We have to do things now very dexterously. Simply, we have to see that in our book there is no spelling or grammatical mistake. We do not mind for any good style. Our style is Hare Krishna, but still we should not present a shabby thing. Although Krishna literatures are so nice that even if they are presented in broken and irregular ways, such literatures are welcome, read and respected by bona fide devotees. That does not matter because you are not personally tending me in Boston. That is formality. I want to say that all my disciples are engaged 24 hours in the service of the Lord. If one is engaged full time in the service of Lord under my direction, that is my personal service. Your ever well wisher, Sri Bhaktivedanta Swami. Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai. Thank you, Mataji. Any take your points, Mataji?
Um, I he was to Prabhupada was to have a steady position, and then he said, if we are steady and chanting regularly and following the regulative principles, so then other can follow. So and he was to like a letter about no, that is yeah. And he was to be like regarding about he's saying about the artist and it's Mm, like that he was like a nice picture about that art department they can make a nice picture daily in maybe the magazine or something, yeah. So, and they can encourage him like regularly and properly. So in the book that is when it was as far as concerned about the books then has to be talking about the Krishna nicely, and we don't want any like that is without any mistakes. So, and the spelling mistakes or grammar mistakes, we have to be in a good style has to be present. Yes. Yeah, yeah.
Thank you, Mataji.
And he's mentioning about the George Harrison that giving the money to about the chapel. So then has to be very quick and then it's a good purpose. So immediately you can send it. Yeah. Yes. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji, for kindly reading and explaining. Any other points, dear devotees, you wanted to add?
Like we said, like even there is some mistake or anything, like still that will be accepted, like this, because the Krishna's literature.
Yes. Okay, Mataji. So that is very beautifully explained. But there are some neophytes as well. Neophytes who are just only looking at outside things. For that, Prabhupada is mentioning. So, or there is no spelling or grammatical mistake. If there are mistakes are there, so the bona fide devotees, they will be still they welcome and read and respect by bona fide. That is from the devotee's perspective. Thank you, Mataji. तद्वाग्विसर्गो जनतागविप्लो यस्मिन् श्लोकमबद्धवत्यपि नामानि अनन्त्यस्य इसोङ्कितानि यत् शृण्वन्ति गायन्ति गुरुणन्ति साधवः. That is Gurunant, that is respected pure devotees of the Lord, they accept it. But other people, for material world's sake, Prabhupada wanted everything to be perfect. There is no spelling or grammatical mistakes in our books. Any other points, dear devotees? And Prabhupada as a spiritual master, and Prabhupada wanted to see all are engaged 24 hours in the service of the Lord. That way, one's life will be busy and fully satisfied. That is Prabhupada's personal service. So they why he's saying Satswarup also was mentioning that he wanted to stay in Prabhupada's service. And if you are engaged, then that is 24 hours a day, then that means you are doing that personal service directly to me. That is Prabhupada is mentioning. And here on the other side, the government is trying to recognize the society. It is a religious society, so we have got responsibility to follow rules and regulations and chanting everything strictly. Then everything, that is when there is a purity and everyone will be attracted. If there is no purity and like following hypocritically only for telling sake, but we don't follow, then what happens? Everything will be ruined. First we have to be pure, and whenever it comes from our heart, then it would have impact on the others. Otherwise it just simply a talk, it would not have any impact on conditioned souls. Prabhupada says that one. So that will make them steady and strong in their positions respectively. So be pure yourself, sincerely, strictly following the rules and regulations and chanting routinely every day without missing. That is from Prabhupada's letter. And from the announcements point of view, so today evening our regular Bhagavad Gita Sangha. So with Vipin Haridasa Prabhuji, and also we would be covering teachings of Lord Chaitanya after Bhagavad Gita. So accommodating in the 45 minutes Bhagavad Gita, 30 minutes of teachings of Lord Chaitanya. And TLC is going to be coordinated by Radha Sevika Mataji, and continuation from the last sessions. In the holidays, we completed up to prologue, first chapter 1, 2, and 3, and then we are continuing from the chapter 4 onwards. Teachings of Lord Chaitanya. And from the June, so it is going to be renewed maybe tonight. I have set up the automatic renewal, so hope it would also be sorted out. And then for Nityananda Trayodasi, the leftover contributions, we will offer it to the Lord, to the temple. And next on tomorrow, we are going to continuation of our Ramayanam as well, after Shloka learning. And coming Tuesday, It is preaching session with Smriti Kana Mataji. Those are upcoming events. That's all from my side, from announcement side. And dear devotees, if you have got any other updates or you wanted to share anything on Krishna consciousness, kindly share. Otherwise, we shall move on to Srimad Bhagavatam, second canto, chapter 9, Chatashloki Bhagavata. Hare Krishna. Okay, so we shall move on to Srimad Bhagavatam. Okay, once again, before we start, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna. So in the Srimad Bhagavatam, so in this topic, Chatashloki Bhagavata, so far we have completed 3 shlokas. Aham evasam evagre nanyad yad sad asad param पश्चादहम इदेदच्चा योषिषेत सोऽस्म्यहम् तृतीयार्धं यत् प्रतीयेत न प्रतीयेत चात्मनि तद्विज्ञात् आत्मनो मायं यथा भासो यथा तमः यथा महान्ति भूतानि भूतेषु चावचेषु प्रविष्टानि अप्रविष्टानि तदा तेषु न त्वेष्वहम्. So I am the only person beginning before the creation, during the creation, after the creation. That is the shloka 1. Shloka 2, anything which is connecting to me, only it has got value. Otherwise, everything is an illusion. And that is second statement. Third statement is like all these material elements, even though they are separate, but they enter into the cosmos. And likewise, and earth, water, fire, and then they mix together, and then there once again there's so many living entities come, and their bodies are also made up of these elements, but still the elements are separate. Likewise, I also enter into this cosmos, and but even though I am separately existing in my abode, in my transcendental abode, so that way I enter into this cosmos. Likewise, that is third statement. Now today, the fourth statement. So here the Lord is saying to Brahma that everyone are trying to search for the ultimate happiness in this world in a different path. But many people, until they come to me, they have to keep on searching and searching and searching. That is, a person who is searching after supreme absolute truth, the personality of Godhead, most certainly search for it up to this point, in all circumstances, in all spaces and time, and both directly and indirectly. That is, everyone are searching in their own ways. But until this is Vasudeva Sarvamiti Samahatma Sudurlabha, that person, he has traveled now to that destination, traveling through so many species of life. That is the statement 4. So we are in the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 2, Chapter 9, verse number 36. एतावद्येव जिज्ञास्यं तत्त्वजिज्ञासुनात्मनः अन्वयव्यतिरेकाभ्यां यत् सर्वत्र सर्वदा. So एतावदेव जिज्ञास्यं, एतावत्. So until this point, up to this point, etavat jidnyasyam, certainly is to be inquired by tattva jidnyasu, tattva, the absolute truth, jidnyasuna, tattva jidnyasuna, by the student, atmanaha, of the self, and then anvaya vetirekabhyam, anvaya directly, vetirekabhyam indirectly, yat syat, and whatever it may be. Sarvatra Sarvada, in all space and time and in all circumstances. Etavadyeva, that is, what is that Etavadyeva? That is Aham eva sameva gre yata mahanti bhutani Rushyadham yat pratiyeta. About 3 statements, whatever Krishna says that I am the center of everything. and I am situated in the spiritual abode. Until one comes to that point, one has to search, keep on searching and searching. Either scientists or philosophers or speculators or karma yogis or jnana yogis, everyone, they have until they reach me. Etavadjeva, that is Jijnasam Tatva Jijnasanatmanaha Annavya Vitrekabhyam Yatsat Sarvatra Sarvada. Very beautifully saying. So until that point, one has to search. A person who is searching after the supreme absolute truth, the personality of Godhead, must certainly search for it up to this point, in all circumstances, in all space and time, and both directly and indirectly. And purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Can I request Meena Mataji, would you like to read the first paragraph?
Of all the mystery of Bhakti Yoga, as it is explained in the previous verse, is the ultimate stage of inquiries, or the highest objective for the inquisitive. Everyone is searching after self-realization in different way, by karma yoga, by bhakti yoga, by dhyan yoga, by Raja Yoga, by Bhakti Yoga, etc. To engage in self-realizations is the responsibility of every living entity developed in consciousness. One who is developed in consciousness certainly makes inquiry into the mystery of the self, of the cosmic situation, and of the problem of life in all spheres and fields: social, political, economic, cultural, religious, moral, etc., and in their different branches. But here the goal of all such inquiry is explained. The Vedanta Sutra philosophy begins with this inquiry about life, and the Bhagavatam answers such inquiry up to this point. Oh, the mystery of all inquiries! Lord Brahma wanted to be perfect, educated by the personality of Godhead, and here is the answer by the Lord. Finished in 4 self verse. For from Aham Eva to from Aham Eva to this verse, Itivad Eva. Eva. This is the end of all self-realization process. Men do not know that the ultimate goal of life is Vishnu, or the Supreme Personality of Godhead, due to being bewildered by the glaring reflection in the darkness, and such everyone is entering into the darkest region of material existence, driven by the uncontrolled sense. The whole material existence is sprugged up because of sense gratification, desire-based principle on the sex desire, and the result is that in spite of all advance all advancement of knowledge, the final goal of all the activity of the living entity is sense gratification. But here is the real goal of life, and everyone should know it by inquiry put before a bona fide spiritual master, expect in the science of bhakti yoga, or from a living personality of Bhagavatam life. Everyone is engaging in various kinds of scriptural inquiries, but the Srimad Bhagavatam give an answer to all of the various students of self-realizations. This ultimate objective of life is not to be searched out without great labor or perseverance. One who is imbued with such sincere inquiries must ask the bona fide spiritual master in the disciple success from Brahmaji, and that is the direction given here.
Because the mystery was disclosed before Brahmaji by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the mystery of all such inquiries regarding self-realizations put before put before such a spiritual master who is directly the representative of the Lord, acknowledged acknowledged in that disciplic succession. Such a bona fide spiritual master is able to clear up the whole things by evidence from the revealed scriptures, both direct and indirect. Although everyone is free to consult the revealed scriptures in the connection, one still required the guidance of a bona fide spiritual master, and that is the direction in this verse. The bona fide spiritual master is the most confidential representative of the Lord, and one must receive direction from the spiritual master in the same spirit that Brahmaji received it from the personality of Godhead, Lord Krishna. The bona fide spiritual master in that bona fide chain of disciplic succession never claims to be the Lord himself. Although such a spiritual master is greater than the Lord in the sense that he can deliver the Lord by his personally realization experience, the Lord is not to be found simply by education or by a fertile fertile brain, but surely he can be found by the sincere student through the transparent medium of the bona fide spiritual master. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Mataji. Very beautifully read. So in this purport, Prabhupada is mentioning self-realization in number of ways, giving karma yoga, jnana yoga, dhyana yoga, and raja yoga, bhakti yoga. So that is number of different paths. The Lord is saying this is Annavya Vitrekabhyam Yatsyat Sarvatra Sarvada in different paths until what point? Etav Jeva Jijnasyam, until to understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It doesn't matter whether you follow Karma Yoga or Jnana Yoga, but until you reach that point, the Supreme Abode. So one has to keep searching and searching. So that is the responsibility of every living entity developed in consciousness. This is consciousness is going from the living entities. Jivaha Sreshtahi Ajivanam. So starting from the Ajivanam, lifeless objects, they are the Jivas are the best. Tatah Prana Brutah Shubhe, and out of that, who has got life, they are the better. Tatah Sachitta Pravaraha, out of those which have got consciousness, they are the best. Tatascha Indriya Vrittayaha, out of those who have got the senses, they are the best. Tatrapi Sparsha Vedibhyaha, out of those which have got the sense of touch, they are the best. Pravaraha Rasa Vedinaha, and then who have got the taste developed, that is the consciousness, they are the best. Tesham Gandhavido Sreshtaha, that is which are smelling, they are the best than the. Likewise, this is Tatah Shabdavido Varaha, and then which can perceive the sound vibrations, they are the best. And then Rupa Bheda Vidastatra, and then better than that is which can identify the form. Rupa Bheda Vidastatra, Tatascha Ubayatodataha, and better than them is which have got the teeth formed in the upper portion and bottom portion. So Tatasha Ubayotadaha, and then Tesham Bahupadaha, and then which better than that has got multiple legs, Bahupadaha Sreshtaha, and Chatushpadaha Tatodvipat, out of those, again, better than many legs is the four-legged ones, better than four-legged ones are the two-legged ones, and out of those things, it is the the Varnashrama Dharma, that is the human society. So out of the Varnashrama Dharma, tato Varnasha Chatvaraha, that is the Varnashrama Dharma. Out of those, Brahmanaha Uttamaha, Tesham Brahmana Uttamaha, out of those, Brahmanas are the best. Brahmanopi Vedajno, Brahmaneshu api Vedajno, out of those who understand this, all the Vedas, they are the best. Hyadadjno Abhidika Tataha, who understands the meaning of the Vedas, they are the best. Likewise, there is a consciousness, and then who is able to explain these things to others, and who is following better than them is who is following these Vedic injunctions. Better than them is who renounced these material activities. Better than them is who has surrendered himself to the Lord. Adogda Dharmamatmanaha. And then better than them, there is no one else. Napasyami param bhutam akattuhu samadarshana. Because tasmad maya arpita ashesha kriyardhatma nirantaraha. That is all the time he surrenders himself to the Lord. That is the consciousness, the development of consciousness. Who is developed in such consciousness certainly makes inquiries into mystery of the self. This is the journey of the consciousness and the cosmic situation and of the problems of life in all spheres and fields. This is Janamurti Jaravyadi Dukkha Doshanu Darshanam Dukkalayam Ashashvatam. That is Dukkalayam Ashashvatam. Those have got the knowledge of this material world and the social, political, economic, cultural, religious, moral, etc. and in the different branches. But here the goal of such inquiries is explained. Very beautifully is explaining everything. Vedanta Sutra philosophy begins with such Atito Brahm Jijnasa, and Bhagavatam answers all such inquiries up to this point. Up to this point, what is that point? Coming to the lotus feet of Krishna. Vasudeva Sarvamiti Samahatma Sudarlabhaha. And then that's why we start with the chapter 1 of Bhagavatam, and then 2, 3, 4 goes gradually step by step, meanwhile purifying the consciousness from all the material things. When we are material things, we would perceive we are going through so many phases of life. That is Srimad Bhagavatam takes us through. We are in the boat of Srimad Bhagavatam. Sometimes it may be feeling good. Sometimes we think, okay, am I going too much fast? These are the different reflections. But it is a journey. It takes so many years. And then by the time we come to the 10th canto, hearing about Krishna, Dasime Dasimam Laksham Asithasre Vigraham. Sri Krishnakyam Parandhama Jagadhama Namamita. That is the ultimate shelter. It takes, but it is only purification process. All these 9 cantos, whatever we are going through, it is the purification. So that is up to this point, Krishna and all mystery of inquiries, Lord Brahma wanted to be perfectly educated by the personality of Godhead, and here is the answer by the Lord. Finished in 4 nutshell verses. That's why it is called Chatashloki Bhagavata. From Aham Evasam Evagre to Etavadya Jidnyasam. This is the end of all self-realization processes. Men do not know that ultimate goal of life is Vishnu, or the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Otherwise, they are just being bewildered by the Devamaya. Even though Narakastyam Narakyastam Nirutau Satyam Devamaya Vimohitaha. Even though they do not want to leave this material world at all. Because tasyam salabhate nivrutam navirajyate, and they do not, even they're getting so many bodies, human bodies, dog bodies, cat bodies, but they don't get, even though they are in the narakastyopi, even though narakastyopi napuman tyakti michyati, they don't want to leave that hellish condition of life. They are being used for this hellish condition of life. Men do not know that ultimate goal of life is Vishnu, or the Supreme Personality of Godhead, due to the being bewildered by the glaring reflection in the darkness. And they keep on, and everyone is entering into darkest region of material existence, driven by uncontrolled senses. It is very sometimes painful, but it is the Lord's will. People are engaging in so many horrible and sinful activities, killing of the cows and everything. And how they will be punished? Likewise, diseases. One disease will come and kill so many things. It doesn't matter whether he is young or not, as long as his time is come and his karma is fructified, he has to leave his body. That is called death. And another fruitive activities come into the existence, that is called his birth, janma. But this is jatasya hi dhruva mrityuho dhruvam janma mrutasya cha. And whoever takes birth, they have to die. Whoever dies, they have to take birth. The cycle keeps going on. So the whole material existence has sprung up because of the sense gratification, desires based principally on the sex desire. Just because of the sex desire. This is the ultimate thing which is causing the bondage to the living entities. There is nothing else which is stronger than this. Only Narayana Rishi, except Narayana Rishi, everyone were bewildered. Even Brahma was bewildered. Lord Shankara was bewildered. Everyone were bewildered. Just for what? That much strong is that. It would entangle to this material world somewhere or other. That is Niroda Mola Hridaya. That there is so many things to speak, but and the result is that in spite of all advancement of knowledge, the final goal of all activities of the living entities sense gratification. But they have got different things, but ultimately the sex desire is the very strongest one. One has to cross. Prabhupada gives that as brahmacharyam, that is that is the first 25 years of the first ashrama, brahmacharyam. Next, grihastham, that is the grihastham, there are only, it is allowed for the to meet with women, only to beget children. Otherwise, strictly not allowed for all other vanaprastha and also sannyasa and brahmacharya. So all three, they are not allowed to come in contact with women. That is strict. And grihastha is only for begetting a children to maintain, because that is also one has to follow the rules and regulations. So, and here everyone should know it by inquiries put before a bona fide spiritual master, expert in the science of Bhakti Yoga, or from the living personality of Bhagavatam life. So, living personality, this is a person Bhagavata, and spiritual master, one has to inquire, and many things. Various kinds of scriptural inquiries, but Srimad Bhagavatam gives all answers to all the students of self-realization. And one has to inquire whenever there is a question and conversations happens. Otherwise, just only one thing is going on one side. It only one person may be understanding it, but it is for everyone. And Brahmaji, the spiritual man in that he is in that spiritual disciplic succession from the Brahmaji. That is the direction given here. And he is directly receiving all these instructions from the Lord directly. And he is the representative of the Lord in the disciplic succession. He can represent. And bona fide spiritual master is able to clear up the whole thing by evidences from the revealed scriptures, both direct and indirect. See, that is, he gave all examples whenever any topic is discussed. The pratigna, what is the pratigna? Keeping the Lord, who is the control of everything. The day and night are going nicely, seasons are going, years are running nicely, birth and death taking place. So everything is under Mayadhyakshena Prakriti Suite Sacharacharam. And one who is trying to understand that is called Pratigna. And what is that Pratigna includes? Reasons, Hetuhu, Udaharana, and Upanayanam, Nigamanam. Giving the reasons, explanations with examples, and also bringing all the uh, explaining, bringing all topics nearer to Krishna only, not taking them far away from Krishna, nearer to Krishna, and showing with evidences from the scriptural point of view. Scriptural injunctions are always transcendental, they are not of this material world. So one has to take the shelter. Either we wanted to somewhere or other, either Bhayat Snehat, Kamat Bheshat, Bhayat Snehat, Yata Bhakteshware Manaha, Tadakam Hitva, Bahavaha Tadgatim Gataha. Either one is envious or a loving or a friendship or somewhere or other, keep connecting with Krishna through the Shastric injunctions. But mood may be different. But in the devotional service, everything should be in favorable to Krishna only. So that spiritual master would explain all these things, who is the directly representative of the Lord. He will clear up all such kind of doubts. And he is the most confidential representative of the Lord, and one must receive directions from spiritual master in the same spirit, like Brahmaji has received. But he is greater than the Lord because he is going to give the Lord. That's why he is considered greater than the Lord in the sense he can deliver the Lord by his personal realized experience. So very beautifully is explaining everything. Lord is not to be found simply by education. Janmaishwarya Sribihi Yedamana Madakuman Naivaharti Abhitatum Vai Tvam Akinchana Gocharam. Lord can be understood only by pure devotion, not by Janma, Aishwarya, Sruta, Sribhi, Edamana, Madapuman, Naiva Arhati. They are not qualifications. But surely he can be found by the sincere student through the transparent medium of the bona fide spiritual master. So that is a very beautiful thing. Can I request other devotee to read next paragraph?
May I read, Prabhu?
Yes, Mataji.
The revealed scriptures give directions directly to this end. But because the bewildered living entities are blinded by the glaring reflections in the darkness, they are unable to find the truth of the revealed scriptures. For example, in the Bhagavad Gita, the whole directions is targeted towards the personality of Godhead, Lord Sri Krishna. But for want of a bona fide spiritual master in the line of Brahmaji or the direct hearer, Arjuna, there are different direct destroyings of the revealed knowledge by many unauthorized persons who just want to satisfy their own whims. Undoubtedly, the Bhagavad Gita is accepted as one of the most brilliant stars in the horizon of the spiritual sky. Yet the interpreters that every student of the Bhagavad Gita is still in this, accepted is one of the most brilliant stars in the horizon of the spiritual sky. Yet the interpretations of this great book of knowledge has so grossly been destroyed that every student of the Bhagavad Gita is still in the same darkness of glaring material reflections. Such a student are hardly enlightened by the Bhagavad Gita. In the Gita, practically the same instructions is imparted in the four prime verses of the Bhagavatam. But due to wrong and fashionable interpretations by unauthorized persons, one cannot reach the ultimate conclusion. In the Bhagavad Gita 1861, it is clearly said, Ishvara sarva bhutanam हृदय से जुनते स्थिति ब्रह्मण्य सर्वभूतानि यंत्रारूढ़ानि मायया.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. So, and here Prabhupada is bringing adding some information about the bewildered living entities, blinded by the glaring reflections. And they have time to read so many books, like going to for what, earning money and to maintain the body and all those things. But they don't take time to read the shastrics or revealed scriptures to find the truth. They are unable to read it. So in the Bhagavad Gita, whole direction is targeted toward the personality of Godhead, Lord Krishna. But there are sometimes when during the workplaces or from the friends, they always hear here and there and then get some kind of contaminated information and then try to bring when and then argue with the devotees. So that we see in day to day. But they do not find the truth from the revealed scriptures. That is called bewilderment of living entities. But bona fide spiritual master in the line of Brahmaji or the direct hearer, Arjuna, there are different. So this is Prabhupada is explaining. There are different distortions of the revealed knowledge by many unauthorized persons who just want to satisfy their own whims. This is everyone have got their personal personal purposes to fulfill. I wanted to earn money in the behind, so my position must be secured like that. But Bhagavad Gita is only for the devotees, not for the non-devotees. Undoubtedly, Bhagavad Gita is accepted one of the most brilliant stars in the horizon of the spiritual sky. Interpretations of this great book of knowledge have so grossly been distorted that every student of Bhagavad Gita is still in the same darkness of glaring material reflections. See, one who studies Bhagavad Gita is spoken by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. And now we are in the Bhagavatam. In the Bhagavatam, the Lord is speaking to Brahma. What he is speaking? The Chatashloki Bhagavata. 4 slokas. And then he also spoke to different devotees, 2 slokas, 3 slokas, and so many slokas. And devotees glorify the Lord. He speak few statements. But out of those all things, if we see the summary, the content in the Bhagavad Gita is there. Krishna spoke all this, the Srimad Bhagavatam, keeping as a nutshell in the Bhagavad Gita, giving all the knowledge. So that is the brilliant stars it is one of the most brilliant stars in the horizon of the spiritual sky. But even though it is such a brilliant scripture, they still, that is, once again, Devamaya Vimohitaha, everyone are bewildered. That is called, there are 2 different kinds of Lord illusory energies, covering energy, throwing energy. Likewise, all the living entities, they do not get an opportunity unless they are taking shelter of the lotus feet of Vaishnavas. They only can guide them. In the Gita, practically the same instruction is imparted as in the 4 prime verses of Bhagavatam. But due to the wrong fashionable interpretations by unauthorized persons, one cannot reach the ultimate conclusion. So the Lord is there everywhere. Aham sarveshu bhuteshu bhutatma avasitah sada. Bhutatma avasitah sada. Tam avadhyatam mamatyaha. And people who doesn't understand this and they go to the temple, so he says kurti archa vidambhanam. So one has to see the Lord and offer his respects everywhere. Manasetani Bhutani Pranimet Bahumanayan. Wherever we see, even if we see the insect, oh Lord is in this insect also. But we are offering our obeisances to that living entity, not the body of it. That is a Vidyavani Sampanni Brahmani Gavihastini Shuni Chaiva Supakecha Panditaha Samadarshinaha. He sees the Lord everywhere. Otherwise, it is a Hitwacham Bhajte Modhyat. It is a moda. If one is identifying the living entity with the body, he say Hitva Acham Bhajte Modhyat Bhasmani Eva Jhoti Saha. Even one is engaged in worshipping of the deity in the temples. Bhasmani Eva Jhoti Saha. So one has to see the Lord in the heart of all the living entities. There is no difference at all between insect in terms of the spiritual or transcendental. There is no difference between anything. The Lord is filling all the cosmic manifestations himself. There is nothing. Everything is transcendental. Whatever we are saying, it is mithya madhi. It is just a mithya. It is just appearing, bewildering the living entities. Is it true? Like that. Pratak bhavaha in a different forms. What happens to them? It is the bhayam, the fearfulness. What happens to me? I'm seeing so many things. But actually, only Lord is there. All are living entities. Either it is a ghost, demon, or a demigod, or anything, a human or non-human being. It is the living entity, just simply living entity. But their consciousnesses are different. That what is that pure consciousness is Vasudeva Sthiti. But here, that consciousness is bit contaminated by three material modes of nature. That will be completely cleared by the bona fide spiritual master. So that is when we see the Lord, Ishvaraha Sarvabhutanam Huddeshe Junatistati, and people are Brahmayan Sarvabhutani Yantra Rodani Maya. Everyone are bewildered by his external energy. So the Lord is situated in the heart of all living beings as Paramatma, and he is controlling all of them. And in the material world, under the agency of his external energy. Therefore, it is clearly mentioned that the Lord is the supreme controller and that the living entities are controlled by the Lord. In the same Bhagavad Gita, the Lord directs as follows. So, the human body, everything is made only that living entities are to be surrendered to Krishna. That is the ultimate purpose. That is the ultimate purpose. There is no other purpose for, but people they wanted to enjoy separately from Krishna. So that is the facility for them. So can I request Gauringi Mataji, would you like to read?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. This one, okay, Prabhuji. Manmana bhava madbhakto madhyaji mama namaskuru mam iva syasi satyamti pratijane prayosime. It is clear from this verse of the Bhagavad Gita that the description of the direction of the Lord is that one should be God minded, a devotee of the Lord, a worshipper of the Lord, and must offer all obeisance unto Lord Krishna. By so doing, the devotee will undoubtedly go back to Godhead, back to home. Indirectly, it is said that the whole Vedic social uh, um, construction, construction of human society is so made that everyone acts as a part and a parcel of the complete body of the Lord. the intelligent class of men, or the brahmanas, are situated on the face of the Lord. The administrative class of men, the Kastriya, are situated on the arms of the Lord. The productive class of men, the Vaishya, are seated on the belt of the Lord, and the labored class of men, the Sudras, are seated on the leg of the Lord. Therefore, the complete social construction is the body of the Lord, and all the parts of the body, namely the Brahmanas, the Kshatriya, uh, the Vaishya, and the Sudras, are meant to serve the Lord's well body conjointly. Their voice, their otherwise, the parts become unfit to be coordinated with the supreme consciousness of honestness. Universal consciousness is factually achieved by coordinated service of all concerned to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and that alone can ensure total perfection. Therefore, even the great sensitives, the great philosophers, the great mental speculators, the great politicians, the great industrialists, the great social reformers, etc., cannot give any relief to the restless society of the material world, because they do not know the secret of success as maintenance in this verse of the Bhagavatam, namely that one must know the mastery of Bhakti Yoga in the Bhagavad Gita 7.15. Also, it is said, uh, na nam discre Duskrino Namam Diskrishno Madhuha Prapadyanti Naradhama Maya Parata Jana Asurim Bhagavana Asritaha. Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Its pronounce is very difficult for sorry about that.
Thank you,
Hare Krishna.
Mataji. You read very nicely, Mataji. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna.
So here Prabhupada was bringing where everyone has to always remember the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and that is one has to become Manmana Bhava, Mad Bhakto, become a devotee, Madhyaji, worship only Krishna, Namaskuru, offer obeisances only to Krishna, and then Mam Ye Vaishisi Satyam Te, Prajane Priyosime, and you will come unto me definitely, because I'm telling all these things because Pratijani Priyosme, I am giving again assurance to you, O Arjuna. So likewise, Krishna keep on giving the suggestions directly. These are coming from the scriptures. But people indirectly, it is once again giving all the painful conditions so that they will come to my children come to me only. That is the only thing, Lord's. So here Prabhupada further says about the how Lord is giving the structured way of the society. The whole Vedic social construction of human society is to make everyone acts to part and parcel of the complete body of the Lord. Intelligent men, Brahmanas, they are situated in the face of the Lord, administrative. The Kshatriyas, they are arms of the Lord, and the productive, the Vaishyas, they are the businessmen, that the belly are they are situated at the belt of the Lord, and labor class of they are like a legs of the Lord. This is Brahmanosya Mukamasit Bahu Rajinyah Krutaha Uru Tadasya Yadvaishya Padbhyagum Sudro Ajayata. This is also comes from the Purusha Suktam. When we are worshipping the Lord with the Purusha Sukta, everything is glorifying. Sahasratisha Purushaha Sahasraksha Sahasrapat Sabhumim Visvato Rutva Chitishta Dashangulam Purusha Evedagum Sarvam Yadbhotameccha Bhavyam Mutamrutatva Yadannate Natirohati. It's a glorifying all the with so many of these Purusha Sukta. There, all these Varnashama dharmas are also mentioned that Lord is the arranging all these things for the well-being of all the living entities. So therefore, the complete social construction is the body of the Lord. All the Brahmanas and Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, Sudras, and to serve only conjointly to serve the Lord. Otherwise, the parts and become they will unfit to be coordinated with the supreme consciousness of oneness. So this is once again mentions one has to cooperate to the oneness. And these people like a great scientists, great philosophers, and they are giving, they cannot misinterpretations. They cannot give any relief to the restless society of the material world. They are coming under Namam Duskritino Modaha Prapadyante Naradamaha Maya Apahata Dhyana Asuram Bhavam Ashritaha, because they are the impious people, Modaha, foolish, Prapad Naradamas, lowest among the humankind. So Maya Apahrata Jnana, their intelligence is stolen by the material nature. Asuram Bhavamashitaha, by the demonic nature. So likewise, they cannot give any solutions to the restless society of the material world. They do not know the secret of success. But everything is mentioned here in Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita. So very sometimes it is bewildering. Okay, so we shall take maybe one more last paragraph. Can I request Radha Sevika Mataji? Would you like to?
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Sorry, I don't have a light on my phone. Sorry, my phone just blanked out. One moment. Sorry. Just need to put my password in. Hare Krishna, sorry. Just reading. Right. Because the so-called great leaders of human society are ignorant of this great knowledge of bhakti yoga and are always engaged in
ignorable acts of sense gratification, bewildered by the external energy of the Lord. They are stubborn rebels against the supremacy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and they never agree to surrender unto Him because they are fools, miscreants, and the lowest type of human beings. Such faithless non-believers may be highly educated in the material sense of the term, but factually they are greatest fools of the world, because by the influence of the external material nature of all their so-called acquisition of knowledge has been null and void. Therefore, all advancement of knowledge in the present context of things is being misused by cats and dogs fighting with one another for sense gratification, and all acquisition of knowledge in science, philosophy, fine arts, nationalism, economic development, religion, and great activities are being spoiled by being used as dresses for dead men. There is no unity in the dresses used for covering a coffin of a dead body, save getting false applause from the ignorant public. The Srimad Bhagavatam, therefore, again and again, that without entertainment of the status of Bhakti Yoga, all the activities of human society are to be considered absolute failures. Only, it is said, पारभावस्तवद् अबोध्य जतो यावन्ना जिज्ञासता आत्मतत्त्वं यावत् क्रियस्तवद् इदं मनो वै कर्मात्मकं येन शरीरबन्धः. As long as one is blind to the inquiring after self-realization, all material activities, however great they may be, are all different kinds of defeat, because the aim of human life is not fulfilled by such unwanted profitless activities. The function of the human body is to attain freedom from material bondage, but as long as one is fully absorbed in material activities, his mind will be overwhelmed in a whirlpool of matter, and thus he will continue to be engaged in material bodies life after life.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. So this is Prabhupada is explaining so-called philosophers and leaders of human society are ignorant of this knowledge, Bhakti Yoga. No other yoga can be easily performed. Only Bhakti Yoga, while living in the human society, engaging ourselves in the transcendental loving service to the Lord. That way one can attain. So at the same time, he also receives all the material enjoyments also implicitly. But actually, he is only endeavoring for the love of Godhead. But these stubborn people, they do not, bewildered by the external energy of the Lord. And they come under, because they're fools, miscreants, and the lowest type of human beings. See, this is once upon a time, before we come to Krishna consciousness, though we are adults, we are bereft of this knowledge, Bhagavad Gita or Bhagavatam. At that time also, we were following some other philosophy, but by the pure devotees association, everything gets changed. See, that is the turning point, coming in contact with the devotees. So, but when we are Udharadihi, and Udharadihi is with broader intelligence, then only he will take up to Krishna consciousness. Otherwise, if he doesn't have any faith or belief, then he will still have to struggle with the material existence. It is all their so-called acquisition of knowledge has been made null and void. They do not achieve anything. Only they will keep on increasing the world destructing weapons. Initially, there were they found these knives and then swords, and then killing only one or two people. Later on, pistols, another few more people easily killing. And then now, it come to the situation they have developed the weapons, atom bombs, and so many big these are, they will destroy the entire humanity. It is only destruction only. Etavadrishtyam avalabhya. This is Krishna says this one in the Bhagavad Gita 16th chapter, how these demonic people are develop everything to destruct entire world. That is the scientist. They are being misguided by cats, and what they do, they lead all the society just like a leading mm, in the wrong directions. They give all wrong instructions. Therefore, all advancement of knowledge in the present context of things is being misused by the cats and dogs fighting with one another for sense gratification. And all acquisition of knowledge in science and all varieties of branches, they are being used as a dresses for dead men. They're just like a dresses for dead men. There is no utility in the dresses used for covering a coffin of a dead body, save getting false applause from the ignorant public. This is all. They have got no value. Everything is sense gratification. No one are self-realized souls. We can understand whoever is speaking based on their sound vibrations coming from their mouth. We understand whether he is a person to associate or not. What is his mood? And therefore, Srimad Bhagavatam, again and again, the without attainment of the status of Bhakti Yoga, all activities of human society ought to be considered absolute failures. धर्मस्पृष्टां पुंसां विश्वक्सेन कथासयः नोत्पादयेज्यचरितिं श्रमयेभिः केवलम्. All kinds, even though they are following all dharma and everything, philosophy, everything, but whenever they are not coming to Krishna, Shrameyevihi Kevalam Visvaksena. If they don't take the shelter of Krishna Katha, it is just only failure. So Prabhupada says, Parabhavaha tavad abhoda jato yavad nijñāsata atmatattvam yavad kriyaha tavad idam manovai karmatmakam yena sirira bandhaha. Karmatmakam yena sirira bandhaha. Just they are to perform activities, they are present in the body of 9 gates. Karma Sarira Bandhaha and Parabhavaha. Parabhavaha, it is a failure. Tavad Abhoda Jato. Yavanna Jijnasata Atma Tattvam. And when you are failing to understand Tavad Abhoda Jato Yavanna Jijnasata Atma Tattvam, everything is a failure. Yavat kriyaha tavad idam manovai karmatmakam yena sarira bandhaha. Just want to perform activities. Then what happened? Everything is a failure of human life. So there, as long as one is blind to inquiring after self-realization, all material activities, success, however great they may be, are all different kinds of defeat because of the aim of human life is not fulfilled by such unwanted and profitless activities. But the function of human body is to attain freedom from material bondage. But as long as one is fully absorbed in the material activities, his mind will be overwhelmed in the whirlpool of matter, and thus he will continue to be engaged in the material body's life after life. Etat samritim, this is called samriti. The baby also in the womb, he also feels this kind of something. Michamatir etat samriti chakrametat. And I'm going to, if I go outside of this womb into this material world, yavan yatropa yatum upasarpati deva maya, that maya will come and capture me. So I do not want to go out of the baby prays in the womb, but he will forget as soon as he come into the material nature. Because karanam gunasangasya sad asad jodi janmashu, 3 material modes of nature captures him. He prays, soham vasnapi vibho bahudukhavasam garbhan anijjagamishe. He says, bahiranda pupe. Outside is the blind world. Bahiranda pupe. Yatropayatum upasarpati deva maya. If I go there, deva maya will capture me. just appearing like. Likewise, he also prays to the Lord in the womb, but coming outside, but he doesn't know whether what kind of parents he would be having in the circumstances, and whether they understands all those things. Likewise, he suffers again whenever he come in contact with the material world. He suffers, fall into the whirlpool of matter, and he'll continue to be engaged in the material body's life after life. But because he prayed and he remembered, Tatra labdha smriti daivat karma janma setodbhavam. 100 lifetimes he could remember that many lifetimes of his past. But if he is doing his prayers, even though he's praying during that from the 7th month onwards, with that consciousness, remembrance of the past karma, he prays. And if he's in the same attitude, whatever the pains that he has been going through, falling in the vinmutra kupapatito bhushetapta deha, falling in the stool and urine in the womb, and when Brushatapta Deha, and he being tormented like anything else. Not only those things, there are so many things. Krumibhi Chata Sarvanga Saukumarya Pratikshanam, and he has got a very delicate body, and there are Krumibhi Chata Sarvangaha, and they will come and bite him. What are those? Those gems, the white and the small long things. They will be there in many of the people's tummies. They'll be moving here and there. And here, as long as the body is there, they will come and Krumibhi Chata Sarvangaha Saukumarya Pratikshanam. Every moment they will come and bite him. Because at the time what he feels, uh, Mocha mapnoti urukleshaha, if he feel unconsciousness because of the pains. Mocha mapnoti urukleshaha, those pains are uruklesha, very bigger pains to the little body. Because tatratehi kshirehi muhuhu, again and again this small worms will go and bite his body. And then such a painful condition, and not only those things, the mother also eats katu, tekshna, vushna, lavana, Ruksha, Amladibihi, Vulvanaihi. Whenever mother eats such kind of spicy things, salty things, chili things, those tastes will go into the womb. Vulvanaihi. Then Matrbhuktaihi Upasprustaha, whatever mother eats, and then those foods, Sarvango Uttita Vedanaha, all parts of this baby body will get Sarvango Uttita Vedanaha, raised pains. He will be tortured like for all in the pack of bag of 9 months. And then he prays all these things. Nadamana Rishirbitaha Saptavadrihi Krutanjalihi. And he's been covered by the 7 layers, Saptavadrihi Krutanjalihi, keeping his folded hands, my dear Lord. Likewise, Stuvitatam Viklavaya Vacha, and he is glorifying the Lord, Yeno Daryarpitaha, in the womb of the mother. So that is his prayer starts, and then because of his seriousness, Lord arranges outside nature that somewhere or other he would come in contact with the devotees. Otherwise, once he is if he is a conscious person, if we are in this condition and just put in a bag of the stool and urine and so much of torment and Jataragni, Brushatapta Deha, one side and other, everyone will coming and pinching us and then torturing and putting on different kinds of spaces, the taste and all this vulbanaihi. It is very difficult to survive. But it is only Deva Maya. That's why he was able to survive, because of the Maya is there. Otherwise, it is not possible to survive. But some people, whenever there is sound are coming or activities are going, we do not know whether it is feeling pain or pleasure. There are birds are chirping. Those birds sometimes they chirp because of the pain. But we think, oh, these birds are chirping nicely, the sound is very pleasing, but actually they are feeling some different feelings. That reflections we need to understand. This material world is full of problems. Some children, they are also making noises and crying, but as a parent we see and block, oh, this person is crying, and then he is getting angry, look at this face, and then they wanted to give some kind of things, but still he would get so much of angry. Even the baby in the little baby body, he gets so much of angry. These people doesn't, and but only thing, he cannot speak, he cannot do anything. He has to, likewise, all his childhood time and Kishora, and he will keep on so many desires, but parents doesn't fulfill. Likewise, these are all attachments. Previous past karmas are following him. Okay, so that is from Srimad Bhagavatam. So Prabhupada is giving all these explanations. And here the Lord is saying to Brahma, Etavadyev Jignasam Tattva Anvaya Vitrekabhyam Yatsyat Sarvatra Sarvada, finding the solution for all the problems in all times and circumstances until they come to Vasudeva Sarvamiti. And Krishna is the supreme. That is the only ultimate goal. Otherwise, this is a journey, everyone's journey. So I stop here. Hare Krishna. I request dear devotees to ask any questions or any comments to add to this, and we shall continue. There is further purports. We shall continue next Saturday.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Can I just ask a question about like, it's maybe a psychological question, but like there's so much research that's done to show that when the baby comes out, so I might just be talking, I don't know,